Good morning everybody, 22nd of September today. I've come out locally to this little, if I get out the way you'll see, a little stretch of the Avon here, this very intimate stretch of the Avon, do something a little bit different this morning. Got a few hours free, so I've just grabbed a few bits of kit that I've not used for many years. And that is my lure fishing kit. Thought I'd do a bit of perhaps drop shotting this morning or flinging about a few crankbaits, something like that. And what I've got, no state-of-the-art gear, it's quite old this stuff, but I've got a Finnor profiler rod. I'm no expert at this at all. This is lower weight, 1/4 to 3/4 of an ounce. So that's certainly do everything I want to do. I've had this rod many years. And use it very occasionally, dust it off and bring it out occasionally. I've just got on there a very small Shimano Hyperloop reel. Got some 012 braid on there. Now we may catch, or hopefully we'll catch some chub, some perch. We may well catch some pike, in which case I've got some wire traces as well to use, and we may even catch some zander. So if I put the plugs on, I'll definitely use a wire trace because we're likely to catch some pike. We don't want to get bitten off, but as you probably saw, I've got this drop shotting kit on at the moment. I'm travelling very light. I've got a net with me, my little bag, and with a few bits in, and a box of lures, a few shads in there as well, some of these little spiky little, I think they're called shads, for use on drop shotting, and I've also got some worms which I might drop shot with as well. As I say, I'm no expert at this at all, and those people who follow the channel will know I don't do this very often. And I do get asked quite often, how's your fishing going, blah, 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 how you doing, you catching much? To which my reply is, everything I do is on here. Everything I do, you will see, or you will see it referred to. So if it isn't in a video, I ain't done it. It's as simple as that. I record everything. This is my fishing diary. Everything goes on here. Absolutely everything. Right, it's enough waffle, isn't it? We've got a couple of hours. I think this swim's probably more suited to drop shotting, so we'll have a go in here, see if we can winkle out perhaps some perch. So I'm going to stay very mobile on this session, as you can imagine. If we're lure fishing, might even do all the swims perhaps, see how we get on. But yeah, I think being mobile is definitely the name of the game today. I can see the bottom in here, and it's reasonably deep, to be honest. It's probably a good 6 foot out there, and I can see the bottom, so it just shows you how clear this river is at the moment. I think what I'm going to do, start off with, is stick a worm on here. Unfortunately, it's all fairly small, so I'll stick a couple on. Need a stocking up of bait, really. I'll stick these on. Drop this in here. I suppose drop shotting worm, we could catch anything really, couldn't we? Can actually see it all the way to the bottom. We'll jiggle that around and see what happens. Some stripe, there we go. I was going to say there's some stripers down there. Wonderful. Well, that's not bad. First chuck, that'll do me. Fantastic. That's absolutely wonderful. Go. Come on. Back you go. Great stuff. Little stripey first cast. Settle for that. Hopefully we'll encounter a few slightly bigger ones at some point. Like I say, we'll perhaps get the crankbaits out as well and have a go with them. Just about see them down there. It's a bit ripply on the surface. A good 5 foot down, I can just about see them. They all look fairly similar size, to be honest. Oh. I've not seen anything above about 4 ounces yet. I'll say it's very clear in here. There we go. And just drop that down a little bit lower. Ah, it's dropped off. Just drop the worm a lot closer to the bottom. It's been hit straight away. That's better. Yeah, it's been a few inches closer to the bottom and we're getting a lot more bites now. Nothing huge, but you never know. Back you go. Never know what you're going to connect with, do you? Right. Just tiddlers in there, just little perch. So I think we'll have a bit of a move. Let's see what we can find elsewhere. Oh, I just stopped off in here. There's a few perch milling about. Again, nothing massive, but you never know. They sometimes just appear as if from nowhere. Oof. Well, that was a pull, but it certainly wasn't a perch. A roach or a chublet or something. There we go. Oh, tiny. Well, we're on wasp patrol today. It's lovely to watch him take the bait though in this clear water. I am going to risk putting him back because there's not many around in here, to be honest. It's only a little bit of slack behind this tree. And it's in a 2 or 3. You're bigger than him though. Oh, that's a reasonable size. Oh, as I was saying, he just appeared from nowhere. Don't know how I missed that. And he was a reasonable sized one, and he appeared absolutely from nowhere. Oh, my shots all come off. I have to sort myself out. Well, yeah, he was a nice one. As I say, just appeared from nowhere, as they tend to do. Right, let's try that again. Don't know how we missed him. He was chewing away and puffing his gills out. Don't know how I missed him at all. God, I need some more worms. These are all tiny. Blimey. Thought they were bigger than this. There we go. That's one of them. And he's a bit bigger. You can swing him out just about. Oh, he's a bit bigger. Oh. There we go. Just like that. Looked a bit bigger. There was 2 of them about the same size there. It did look like a decent fish, but I was looking at both of them at the same time. Sort of one behind the other. Right, go on, mate. Back you go. Great stuff. Got him. Yeah, I'm having to let it stop on the bottom for him to have a go at it. Put the net under him. You could probably lift him, but I'll put the net under him anyway. Well, they are playing hardball, but we're having a few. Good job we bought the worms though. So they don't seem overly interested in the lures. They seem very uninterested in the lures. Cracking. Wonderful stuff. Back you go, fella. You know, I've not seen a single chub yet, which is quite unusual for this stretch. It's usually Lots of chub around the place. So guys, I've come a bit further up the stretch again. Well, these swims all seem a bit more suited to flinging plugs or crankbaits, as they called these days, around. So we'll do that, I think. I've changed over from the drop shot. It's very, very clear. I'm not quite sure how well we're going to do in the middle of the day. Very clear river, but we'll have a go. I was enjoying that drop shotting, but these swims are definitely, these swims at the top here, definitely a bit more suited to crankbaits. I'm not seeing any pike yet, disappointingly. Whenever I've been up here in the past, always see at least one pike. But of course today, when I've got the gear, we could catch one. I've not seen eye nor hair of one. Oh, we've got a tiniest little jack in the world, follow it. It's the smallest pike I think I've ever seen. Just gave it a twitch and he grabbed it. I can even lift him out, look. Oh dear. I think I've ever seen a pike that small. What an immaculate, beautiful little pike. That's fantastic. Wonderful stuff. Back you go, fella. I actually thought it was a chub at first, it's so small. Great stuff. It shows you, they all say, don't they, don't take your lure out of the water too quickly. I'm not sure I'd have seen him if I hadn't got my polarising glasses on. Right, back on the drop shot. Now there's a reasonable perch out in front of me there. Oh, well, we got one of the smaller residents. Oh dear. Well, we're catching a few anyway. That's the main thing, isn't it? Come here. Again, on worm, they're not interested in anything artificial. Go on, back you go. Oh, we got here something very small. Is it a perch? Well, there we go. We've had a gudgeon on the drop shot. That's a lovely surprise. Oh, who doesn't love a gudgeon? I didn't even realise there was a gudgeon down there. How's about that? Wonderful. That's fantastic. Well, as I said, nothing huge, but I'm really enjoying myself here. You can probably tell. Well, a bit of a voyage of discovery. Just found this little spot here. There's a chub milling about and a few smaller ones down there. I'm just wondering if we can tempt them with a worm. Ooh. Well, completely lost track of where the worm was, and it was down here because I was watching the chub over there. What we got here? Little perch. Yeah, that chub had cleared off. Another little perch. Not really surprising on worms. Yep, the little perch, you get into it before everything else. Oh. Oh, there's plenty of perch in this swim. Oh dear, all the perch in the river seem to be in the swim. Fantastic. Great bit of fun. But I can't imagine for a minute we're now going to catch that chub. They're not daft, are they, chub? No, I think I'm going to call this the last swim, because it's the last swim. The last swim on the stretch, pretty much. Back on the main river. A few little perch around, but I've not seen anything of any size. I can see the bottom and it's very, very clear. It's reasonably deep as well, to be honest. A few little stripies. About to get a bite, I think. There we go. Ooh. Did me. Yeah, there's a few small perch around. I'll perhaps get a few more bites, and I'm nearly out of worms anyway. I'm not even looking at a lure. Barely interested in worms, to be honest. Definitely going to get some gear though. Get a few bits and pieces, like I say, some little jigs and jig heads and stuff. It's been great fun. This has. I really enjoyed it. It's not a great swim for drop shotting, really, this one. It's flowing far too fast. Oh my goodness, how did I miss that? Oh my goodness. He's got the worm in his mouth. His gills are flaring. He's chewing away at it. I strike and miss it. The rod tip's tapping. I don't quite understand how I'm missing these bites. But yeah, it would be nice to use little artificial worms. That's quite in vogue, isn't it, at the moment, to catch stuff on tiny little artificials. Right. I'm struggling to catch anything on a real worm at the minute. Finally we've got one. Well, there's quite a lot of them down there, so I think it's probably an idea if we do put this one in the net, so we can have a few out before we go home. Now they're loving the worms. Guy got me a right tangle. I was just about to say they're getting a bit cautious now. There are a few cautious ones, and then there's a brave one that just comes in and nabs it. They all disappeared for a few minutes and then they're back. I say all, there's about 4 or 5 that I can see. All about the same size. But it's wonderful when you're sight fishing and you can watch them take it. It's fab. No, they've all made a sharp exit. The few that were left, not surprisingly. But yeah, I've really enjoyed that. Been a thoroughly fun couple of hours down here. I'll have a quick look at these fellas before we go back. See how many we got. Oh, we got, how many did you get? Half a dozen or so? Yeah, half a dozen in there. We can have a look. I mean, no monsters, but half a dozen little perch. Just in this last spot, we'll get them back, and then we'll get on our way. There you go, chaps. Off you go. Fantastic. Well, I have to say, I've thoroughly enjoyed that. It's been something a bit different, and yeah, learned a bit as well. They really weren't interested in any little shads or anything today, and I've not done much with the crankbaits because I've not really seen anything, and it's crystal clear, the water. I've seen nothing really to cast to, and it's the first time I've ever been here and not actually seen a pike in any of the swims, which is a bit disappointing. But you know, I don't normally come down at this time of the day. I usually come in the evening, so obviously that would be a better bet. Now, as I say, I'm going to call it a day at that, but I will be out again probably at the weekend, if not before. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Something a little bit different. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling if you get out there. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your wonderful support, and I'll see you all again very soon.